The reality of the rulers. Samael's sin. Because of the reality of the authorities, inspired by the spirit of the Father of Truth, the great messenger referring to the authorities of the darkness told us that our contest is not against flesh and blood, rather the authorities of the universe and the spirits of wickedness. I have sent you this because you inquire about the reality of the authorities. Their chief is blind. Because of his power and his ignorance and his arrogance, he said with his power, I am God, there is no other but me. His thoughts became blind, and having expelled his power, that is, the blasphemy he had spoken, he pursued it down to chaos and the abyss. His mother, at the instigation of Pistis Sophia, she established each of his offspring in conformity with its power, after the pattern of the realms that are above, for by starting from the invisible world, the visible world was invented. As incorruptibility looked down into the region of the waters, her image appeared in the waters, and the authorities of the darkness became enamored of her. But they could not lay hold of that image which had appeared to them in the waters, because of their weakness, since beings that merely have soul cannot lay hold of those that have spirit, for they were from below while it was from above. The creation of Adam and Eve. This is the reason why incorruptibility looked down into the region, so that, by the Father's will, she might bring all into union with the light. The rulers laid plans and said, Come, let us create a human that will be soil from the earth. They modeled their creature as one wholly of the earth. The rulers have bodies that are both male and female, and faces that are the faces of beasts. They took some soil from the earth and modeled their man, after their body and after the image of God that had appeared to them in the waters. They said, Come, let us lay hold of it, by means of the form that we have modeled, so that it may see its male partner, and we may seize it with the form that we have modeled, not understanding the partner of God, because of their powerlessness. And he breathed into his face, and the man came to have a soul, and remained on the ground many days. But they could not make him rise because of their powerlessness. Like storm winds they persisted in blowing, that they might try to capture that image which had appeared to them in the waters, and they did not know the identity of its power. Now all these events came to pass by will of the Father of all. Afterward the Spirit saw the man of soul on the ground. The Spirit came forth from the adamantine land. It descended and came to dwell in him, and that man became a living soul. And the Spirit called his name Adam, since he was found moving upon the ground. A voice came forth from incorruptibility for the assistance of Adam. The rulers gathered together all the animals of the earth and all the birds of heaven, and brought them in to Adam to see what Adam would call them, that he might give a name to each of the birds and all the beasts. The rulers took Adam and put him in the garden, that he might cultivate it and keep watch over it. They issued a command to him, saying, From every tree in the garden shall you eat, but from the tree of knowledge of good and evil don't eat, nor touch it. For the day you eat from it, you will surely die. They said this to him, but they did not understand what they said. Rather, by the Father's will, they said this in such a way that he might in fact eat, and that Adam might not regard them as would a man of an exclusively material nature. The rulers took counsel with one another and said, Come, let us cause a deep sleep to fall on Adam. And he slept. Now, the deep sleep that they caused to fall on him, and he slept, is ignorance. They opened his side, which was like a living woman, and they built up his side with some flesh in place of her, and Adam came to be only with soul. The woman of spirit came to him and spoke with him, saying, Rise, Adam. And when he saw her, he said, It is you who have given me life. You will be called Mother of the Living, for she is my mother. She is the physician and the woman, and she has given birth. Adam and Eve in the garden. The authorities came up to their Adam. When they saw his female partner speaking with him, they became very excited and enamored of her. They said to one another, Come, let us sow our seed in her, and they pursued her, and she laughed at them for their foolishness and blindness. In their clutches she became a tree, and left before them her shadowy reflection resembling herself, and they defiled it foully. And they defiled the seal of her voice, so that by the form they had molded, together with their own image, they made themselves liable to condemnation. Then the female spiritual presence came in the form of the snake, the instructor, and it taught them, saying, "What did he say to you? Was it, 'From every tree in the garden shall you eat, but from the tree of recognizing evil and good do not eat?" The woman of flesh said, "Not only did he say, 'Don't eat,' but even, 'Don't touch it, for the day you eat from it you will surely die.' The snake, the instructor, said, 'It is not the case that you will surely die, for out of jealousy he said this to you. Rather, your eyes will open and you will be like gods, recognizing good and evil.' And the female instructing power was taken away from the snake, and she left it behind, merely a thing of the earth. And the woman of flesh took from the tree and ate, and she gave to her husband as well as herself, and those beings who possessed only a soul ate. And their imperfection became apparent in their lack of knowledge. They recognized that they were naked of the spiritual, and they took fig leaves and bound them around themselves. Then the chief ruler came, and he said, 'Adam, where are you?' For he did not understand what had happened. Adam said, 'I heard your voice and was afraid because I was naked and I hid.' The ruler said, 'Why did you hide, unless it is because you have eaten from the tree from which alone I commanded you not to eat? You have eaten.' Adam said, 'The woman you gave me fruit, and I ate it.' And the arrogant ruler cursed the woman. The woman said, 'The snake led me astray, and I ate.' They turned to the snake and cursed its shadowy reflection, so it was powerless, and they did not comprehend that it was a form they themselves had modeled. From that day the snake came to be under the curse of the authorities. Until the perfect human was to come, that curse fell on the snake. They turned to their Adam, and took him and expelled him from the garden along with his wife, for they have no blessing, since they too are under the curse. Moreover, they threw human beings into great distraction and into a life of toil, so that their human beings might be occupied by worldly affairs, and might not have the opportunity of being devoted to the Holy Spirit. Eve bears children. Now afterward she bore Cain, their son, and Cain cultivated the land. Thereupon he knew his wife. Again becoming pregnant, she bore Abel, and Abel was a herdsman of sheep. Cain brought in from the crops of his field, but Abel brought in an offering from amongst his lambs. God looked upon the votive offerings of Abel, but he did not accept the votive offerings of Cain, and fleshly Cain pursued Abel his brother. God said to Cain, "Where is Abel, your brother?" He answered, saying, "Am I my brother's keeper?" God said to Cain, "Listen, the voice of your brother's blood is crying up to me. You have sinned with your mouth. I will return to you. Anyone who kills Cain will let loose 7 vengeances, and you will exist groaning and trembling upon the earth." And Adam knew his partner Eve, and she became pregnant and bore Seth to Adam. And she said, "I have borne another man through God in place of Abel." Again Eve became pregnant, and she bore Noriah. And she said, "He has produced for me a virgin as an assistance for many generations of human beings. She is the virgin whom the forces did not defile." Then humankind began to multiply and improve.